Hello. It is morning after the party. I think I slept at around like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and I got pretty drunk, and you know what? I'm still happy. Actually, no. Am I drunk? I might be a little high. That's what I might be.
Smoke weed every day.
I figured since I have a while until I have to check out of my room and I still need to eat breakfast, I could do part 2 of the Q&A just to finish up what I did not cover. Last time I covered the book-related questions and the booktube-related questions, and now we can start talking about personal stuff. I'm just looking stupid right now, but I'm gonna look stupid this whole video, so it's fine. We're gonna do it for the views. That's what really matters in the end. Let's just talk about personal stuff. We'll get into it. Let me grab my laptop. So the most frequently asked question out of this entire Q&A was, what is your sexuality? The people want to know. You nosy sons of bitches are so curious. So curious about what I do in the bedroom and who I'm attracted to. Okay, I'm gonna try to sober up to answer this seriously, but for a long time, I didn't know if I should be open about my sexuality on BookTube because I was afraid of judgment. I don't know, because it's just something so personal, and I think my sexuality specifically is one that gets a lot of taboo at times, and people don't really get it, and I feel like if I stated it publicly, people would judge me. But I'm gonna go ahead and just say it out in the Q&A, and I hope that you guys will still stay subscribed, but if you don't, I honestly understand. I am straight. I know it's not what you guys want to hear, and I know that people were hoping and praying to God that I was gay or bisexual or anything else other than straight. The worst sexuality of them all. I wish I could be different, but I can't change who I am. I can't help that I am heterosexual, and I don't think it should be taboo. And I think I'm ready to live my truth. And I know that you guys are disappointed, and trust me, I am too. But it is what it is, and that's the tea. A lot of people also asked me how old I am and what I do for my job specifically based on my last vlog. So to answer your questions, I am 24 years old. I was born on October 17, 1994. My social security is, just kidding. So I turned 24 pretty recently. I work as an art director at a digital advertising agency. So what that means is I get to work on a variety of projects depending on who the client is. I work in the creative department as an art director, where I am leading the projects and giving feedback to the designers. A lot of people ask like how I got to that point, and I know it's because like it's very weird that a 24-year-old is doing all of this shit, especially when she looks like she's fucking 12. I guess to sum up my career progression so far, I switched over to the design major halfway through college. I was kind of going through like a mid-college life crisis. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I don't know, just like halfway through college, I got out of that bad relationship, coping with my depression, and I was just like, fuck it. It's already so difficult to be happy. If I'm gonna be miserable anyway, I might as well give a fighting shot to a career that I could possibly like. And so that was my rationale for switching over to design. So since I switched over so late, I completed my design degree in like 2 years, which is definitely not enough time to really understand design, which I think goes to show how shitty my school was. It's actually a surprise to many people that we even had a design program, but we do. It's not good because I knew that it didn't really matter. I was just the worst student in class. I never fucking tried at anything. I feel like, you know what? I feel like my classmates kind of judged me or looked down on me for that, because it would come like finals week, we would all present our projects, and it was so clear that I didn't put in any effort in my project at all, and I could tell that they're judging me. But you know what, bitch? Look at me now.
Smoke weed every day.
Are they directing photo shoots for Adidas? I don't fucking think so. I graduated from college 2 years ago. By the time I was senior year and we were all supposed to apply for jobs, I basically had two choices. I could either work a full-time job at some startup in the Bay Area where I'm from, or I could accept an internship from an ad agency, but it's all the way across the country in a state that I've never lived before. I ended up choosing the internship, so I moved across the country. It was supposed to be 6 months. I didn't know if I would get a full-time job at that internship, but it was a chance I motherfucking took, you know? They gave me a free apartment and paid for my flight tickets, and the internship was paid, so it was a good opportunity regardless. Even if it ends up not working out, at least I got free room and boarding, you know what I mean? Oh my god. Anyway, so the internship was supposed to be 6 months, but halfway through the internship, I got hired full-time as a junior designer. So I worked as a junior designer for pretty much all of 2017. In 2018, this year, around March, I got promoted to junior art director, and I was like, nah, bitch, this ain't it. And then I got promoted again to actual art director around September, I think. So I've been out of college for around 2 years now, which means that this is my first job. So yeah, I'm just making shit up as I go along. But I really wanted to be in a director position and in a leadership position, so that's what I aim to do. And that's what I continue to aim doing. I want to keep on climbing even higher and fucking own all these bitches. I also want to make sure that nobody feels bad about themselves hearing this stuff or compares themselves, because I think my situation is just an anomaly. It's very rare to get 2 promotions in 1 year, and it's very rare to have an art director in their early 20s at this kind of agency. I just happen to be here a little bit earlier than a lot of people because I was just determined to get there, and also I have no other fucking life. I am a workaholic. For context, I am the youngest person in the company. Many of my coworkers are basically dudes in their 30s or 40s. Many of the designers that I am directing are in their 30s. That's pretty much the norm. So do not compare yourself to something that you think is the standard when it's not. It's not the standard. It's just a weird outlier. A lot of people also ask me what I do as an art director, and honestly, that varies depending on what I'm working on. I typically work on a different project every month or every other month. Last month, which you saw in my vlog, I was working on a photo shoot for Adidas. What I was doing for that was location scouting, writing up a shot list, putting together outfits for the models, going to the stylist to approve of the outfits, and then actually directing the photo shoot. But that was very different from what I did before. Shit, I don't even remember what I did the month before. Wait, what fucking month is it? Oh, okay. I was working on some pitches for Netflix, and they wanted some campaign ideas for their movies. Basically, that was just putting together a bunch of presentations, making mock-ups for what the designs would look like. And before that, I worked on a website for Adult Swim because Rick and Morty were doing some kind of tour for their new season. So yeah, it really varies month to month. So I might be working on like a website, or I might be working on a campaign, or I might be working on a photo shoot, which is what I did most recently. The project that I'm going to be working on this month is a website, but I cannot say what it is for. Really cannot say, because if I do, my CEO will fucking gut me like a fish. We're not allowed to even speak what the name of it is. That's pretty much like the gist of what I do. And it's really just sitting in front of a computer all day. Yep, I am girl hetero, but not sure about it now because I shift myself with you. I like my fantasy to be a minimum realistic, so do you love girl? Do you allow me, a complete creepy stranger, to daydream about a romance between us? Girl, if you are having those kinds of daydreams, you ain't straight. But you can go ahead and continue fantasizing about me until you get higher standards. So it's fine, I don't care. Why are you estranged from your family? Growing up, I never really had an emotional connection with my family, I guess. We were always just very separated and doing our own thing. I also grew up with a sister who was 8 years older than me, and she was always fighting with them and cursing them out. And I think I adapted a lot of her outlook on them, where I didn't understand why exactly, but I knew that they were insufferable. For some reason, I didn't know why. I was just picking up whatever my sister was doing. as I got older, my sister told me about various bullshit that my parents have done. Like my dad used to be abusive and a raging alcoholic. My mom is pretty much like a doormat and lets him just do whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not crying. I'm just like fucking drunk. Yeah, and so like my mom's kind of like a doormat. She always takes my dad's side, and it's just some bullshit. And also, like, they are very, very financially irresponsible. So I grew up being stressed out a lot about finances because they would spend money on stupid shit that they don't need. What really nailed it down for me was a couple years ago, my sister found out that our parents had been stealing money from her. They had been opening credit cards under her name, and then she ended up having to pay like over $20,000 for these cards that she never opened. She's yelled at them a couple of times, but they've never apologized for that shit because they don't own up to their bullshit. If someone is failing as like a parent, I'm not gonna fuck with that because it doesn't matter if they're blood related to me or not. I don't even have the emotional connection anyway that my sister does, so I'm just like fucking bouncing out of here. And this has happened so many times. Like I think she's
Hi guys, sorry for the abrupt transition. I got a text from my friend because he was dealing with relationship issues, so I had to postpone filming just to help him out for a little bit. Unfortunately, now I am sober, which I know is a disappointment to you guys because I know you were really wanting to see me drunk the entire video. So to make up for that, I'm going to try to finish the video wearing a face mask because I'm sure that I will look equally as ridiculous, if not more so, than if I were filming drunk. I've never done a face mask by myself before. I've only done it when my friends happen to have face masks and then they would help me put it on, but I don't know how to do it by myself, although I should because my face is pretty crusty. So yeah, I'm gonna try to put it on for the video and then I'll continue answering the rest of your questions. How comfortable do you guys feel right now watching this? Are you contemplating your life choices as you watch this crusty ass Asian girl put on a white face mask? This feels very wet. I don't know if I'm putting it on right, but let's hope so. You know what's so funny? I've gotten, not questions, but like I've gotten a few anonymous submissions on my Curious Cat saying that, I don't know, they were just like complimenting my looks and saying I was pretty. Sure, bitch, sure. Okay, I probably did not put it on right, but fuck it, we're just gonna go with this. Is this considered whiteface? Shit. Well, I guess I can't do the Q&A because people are home. See you later.
I have tried to film this video for 3 days already. I keep on getting interrupted by random shit. This will be the last time I attempt this. Hopefully it will work out. I'm just gonna try to do as many questions as I can. After this take, no more. Remind me never to do a Q&A because this shit takes forever and also I hate editing it. Unfortunately, I am now sober and I have no face mask, so you're stuck with this instead. Last time we left off, I was talking about why I am estranged from my family and explaining a few of the things that they did to my sister and how she had to pay off like $20,000. She's caught them like 3 times already. They've never apologized. My mom actually told her to stop berating them about it because money isn't everything. And it's like, yeah, bitch, it's easy to say that when you're the one fucking stealing money. They did the same thing to me about 2 years ago. I was looking at my credit report and I saw that my dad had opened a card under my name. Unlike my sister, I had no qualms whatsoever about filing a police report and sending a threatening email to them. If people are being shitty, I just cut them out of my life, plain and simple. It sucks to have a shitty family situation, but it helps me learn how to take care of myself. I think my upbringing is why I am very independent and career-oriented and financially responsible. I try to avoid spending time with them now because whenever I do, I feel like family just brings out the worst side to me. I get so angry in ways that I've never been angry at anybody else, and it just triggers me into a bad mental state. And so what's best for me is to just cut that out of my life. So I'm not trying to tell you my sob story or anything. I'm just explaining the situation since you asked, but I'm really okay, so Don't worry about it, sis. And so this actually leads me to the next question, which asks, can you talk about being minimalist? It seems so stress-free. Well, my situation is a little bit different. My choice to be minimalist was directly from growing up with my parents who are financially irresponsible. So it was less of a choice and more of like a psychological reaction. The difference is that people choose it as a trend, and I kind of chose it as like a survival instinct because I'm like, oh shit, mom and dad might fucking steal my money, so I shouldn't spend money on anything because I gotta save as much as I can. Like, my minimalism is so extreme that I literally only have a bed in my room. I don't have a chair, I don't have a desk, I don't even have a fucking bed frame. I only have the bare necessities. I'm in a unique situation where I'm able to get by around these things because I live with a roommate who is a hoarder. So she has so many other things that I can use. I have a job that gives me a lot of free shit, as you can tell from my vlogs. So I have just become very resourceful with the things that I have been given. And I try to conserve my money as much as I can by not buying any material things and only spending it on experiences like traveling and just saving the rest to pay off for my student loans. Obviously, you should not follow my footsteps because most people would not be happy with that kind of life. But I just think the way that I've grown up, I cut out any desire to want those things in the first place. But if I had to translate that into something that is a bit more palatable to the general public, I would say that minimalism, at least my approach to it, is placing more emphasis on experiences rather than on material things, which is why I don't have any books and I don't have any desire to own any books. I enjoy more so the experience of reading books, and I don't care about rereading them or owning them. And that's just how I am. I think that if you are the type that finds joy in having material things, I think that's fine. It's only to the point where if you find that having so many things stresses you out, or if you're not actually using any of those things, then perhaps you should reevaluate your spending habits and, I don't know, just get your shit together and try to figure out what would make you the best version of yourself. I definitely want to someday be at a point where I no longer feel stressed about money, because I still do, which I know is like ironic to say because you've seen my vlogs, you know that I live a comfortable life, but I kind of feel like even if I were a millionaire, I would still be frugal as fuck because being frugal has just been ingrained in me. But I am the extreme case of it. Don't follow my footsteps. I think you should just approach minimalism however you find it best. If you had to get a tattoo right now, what would it be and where would you place it? I am completely neutral about tattoos. If I had to get a tattoo, I would want it to be somewhere on my forearm, and it would have to be some minimalist line art drawing. Nothing too extravagant, just something very simple and clean. I'll put like a photo over here as reference for the kind of art style that I would want. Favorite memory this year. My favorite memory this year was visiting Stockholm and Copenhagen with 3 of my closest friends. To be more specific, one of the favorite memories I had from that trip was when we were in Stockholm. There were so many golden leaves outside that we wanted to pile all the leaves together to try to jump in it. One of my friends, Paul, was acting like a total ham for the camera too, because he was grabbing a leaf and he was like, this is a good fucking leaf right here. And he saw that I was filming, so he tried to like take a bite out of it. I'll just put a clip here so you can see.
Quality leaf. Hey, check out the quality ass leaf you got here. Look at this shit. Shit, quality. What?
What are you looking forward to next year the most? I am looking forward to going to Portugal in May. Since I'm not going to have my friends there, I was thinking of actually vlogging so that I could take you guys with me too. So we'll see about that. Where in the world would you like to travel to? I would like to go to Tokyo because Japanese food is my favorite food and I love big cities. And also I heard that many things are cheaper over there. So that's just a win-win-win to me. I think you said in your video you had depression. How do you feel now? Do you have relapses? Yes, I have depression, but I feel better now. I am taking antidepressants and they've been helping a lot. The last relapse I had was like around July, which was also when I started my booktube channel. So I guess this is a result of my relapse. It was really, really bad. I just had no motivation to keep living at all. And that was why I started taking antidepressants again, because for a while I had weaned off of it thinking that I would be fine without it. But clearly I still need it. So I'm a lot better now and I feel content in my life. So we good. What have you learned the most about yourself in the last 5 years? I think I have learned that I am very resilient. The last 5 years, I've just been going through a lot of shit and going through a lot of changes. And through all of the ups and downs, I feel proud of where I am now and the strides that I've made mentally, professionally. What I can believe in is myself, because I've just been through so much bullshit and have gained so much resilience over it that now I've gotten to the point where I feel comfortable with myself to the extent where even if bad shit were to happen to me or if I am in a bad situation, I have faith in myself to be able to get through it. Name 3 things you could not live without. I'm just going to give very basic, practical answers for this. It would be my phone, the internet, and my laptop. I can't live without those because those things basically consist of both my job and my hobbies. So without that, I'm fucking nothing. Do you have a bucket list? If so, can you share what's on it? I don't really have a clearly defined bucket list, but something that I would like to do someday, which I mentioned before, is to publish my own novel, which is a good segue to what I'm about to show you guys. So I'm at my sister's house right now, and I found a pile of books that I wrote when I was in high school. These are all of the books that I wrote when I was in high school because apparently I'm a fucking loser who has way too much time, at least back then. This was the first novel that I wrote, which was in sophomore year of high school. It was a paranormal fantasy. This was 389 pages. Not bad for a first novel. Is the quality good? No. But if we were to judge based on quantity over quality, it ain't bad. And then this is the second novel that I wrote. This was a sci-fi story. And I'm not going to go over the rest of the pile because it's just way too fucking much. But the point is, I wrote like a shit ton. The reason why I have like actual books is because I used a website called CreateSpace and I uploaded my books there and I only printed a proof copy. So that means that they're not actually published, which is, I guess, something that you do before you self-publish. But I always went up to the proof copy part and never actually published it. I just wanted like my own personal copy. I would love to one day, maybe when I'm in my 30s, just go back and rewrite these so that they are palatable to the general public. And then people can make rant reviews on BookTube to say how much it sucks. I actually would fucking love that. I would love to watch videos of people just shitting over my books because I would probably agree with them. You guys would be talking about the shitty writing and I'd be like, yeah, man, I know. I've been fucking telling you this since 2018. Or you'd be talking about how annoying the main character is. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking telling me I had to be stuck with that fool for like a year. What's not included in this pile are 2 of my recent stories, which are a fantasy novel and a dystopian novel. I just never printed them out. These are 8 books that I'm holding in my hands, and the other 2 that I wrote would make it 10 in total, which is pretty crazy. Also, I know a lot of people are now very curious and probably want me to go over each book or like read a couple of passages or whatever. I'm not going to do that because 1, the passages are not actually that interesting. 2, I don't want to give away the synopsis because despite the shitty writing of these books, I still think there is like a nugget of story that is worth mining for into something that's more palatable. So I kind of want to keep that to myself so that I can properly write it into a non-shitty novel. I would love to just polish them up a little bit so that they can be shared with the world, and then the world can collectively cringe while I get my coin. Are you working the dream job you always wanted, or has that changed over the years? I'm not sure if I would say that I always wanted this job because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted for a very long time until halfway through college, but I would say that this is a dream job. I know that I am very lucky and privileged to be able to work in a place that allows me to get away with my bullshit. Are you still striving for a certain position? I am still striving for a certain position. So what's above the art director role is the creative director. The difference is that my role as an art director means that I am leading specific projects, whereas a creative director is leading the entire team. They're essentially like the manager of all the other designers and art directors. So they're like the big honcho. I want to be up there. And the reason why is just because I want to be more powerful. I'm kind of joking, but not really. The advertising industry is very dominated by white men specifically. I would love to be in as high enough of a leadership position as possible so that 1, I could continue doing great work and having more ownership over it. And 2, I can create a culture where it is more inclusive and diverse of other types of people beyond just white men. I got a question that asks why were there so many dogs at my workplace? Our office is dog friendly, which is very common for creative workplaces. What self-help books do you recommend? I actually got a request from another person to make a video with my top career-oriented books, so I'm going to do a video about that. But just to answer your question right now, the best self-help book that I've read is Crucial Conversations. I've said it a lot of times before, but I think communication is so essential to getting what you want. And it's not just relevant for your career, it's just relevant for relationships in general. Everybody can do better at communicating. How did you deal with the worries and anxieties of beginning a career? I am about to graduate college and I am so scared of the workplace. First of all, it is very normal to feel scared and self-doubtful. It's normal to feel that way, so just be patient with yourself. Instead of interpreting your feelings as anxiety, try to flip it on its head and tell yourself, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. Just try to trick your mind into thinking that way. A lot of people say fake it till you make it, which kind of like encourages imposter syndrome. What I've learned is that it doesn't matter if you actually think that you're an imposter or that you're incompetent or that you're untalented or whatever. What matters is that other people think that you are talented and competent. You might as well feel like an imposter your whole life, but if you can get your boss to think that you're a good worker, then that's really all that matters. And that's how you play the game. How do you keep inspired in a career based on creativity? Always seek opportunities to learn and seek new experiences. There are the standard websites that you go to for inspiration if you're a designer, like Behance and Dribbble. But I would also encourage you to read different types of books and travel as much as you can, because the cool thing about traveling is that you get exposed to other types of cultures that approach design and creative careers differently, and it's always good to go beyond your bubble. What's your ancestry? I am Vietnamese, but I was born in America, so I speak very broken Vietnamese because I have barely used it at all. How's life? It's okay right now. The holidays have been a bit tough for me because I've had to spend it with family. The reason why the doorbell rang earlier and I had to stop filming was because I am at my sister's house and she didn't fucking tell me that she was actually hosting a Christmas party with our parents and our extended family. So that was kind of triggering to me, and I had to just isolate myself from that and just not involve myself in that shit. It was kind of a rough night, but I did spend that night editing my vlog, which should be up by now. And I think editing that vlog helped me out a lot because, one, it provided a productive distraction for me, and two, it also served as a reminder for me that I have forged my own life outside of my family and my hometown. And it's so much better and happier for me, and it's also a life that an online community is interested in. I feel better now, but I probably will not return back to California anymore for the holidays unless it's for work. What celebrity would you play in a movie about your life? My options are quite limited because there are not many Asian American actors that I know of, but I have been compared to Aquafina a lot. She is the girl who played the best friend in Crazy Rich Asians because she was like the comic relief and she had short blonde hair. If she can stop appropriating AAVE, then she can go ahead and play me. If you were to put a voodoo spell on someone, who would it be? I feel uncomfortable with the idea of performing voodoo on someone without their consent, so I'm gonna pass on this. Your non-celebrity, non-fiction crush. I actually do have a crush on someone, but I'm not gonna say who it is because I am paranoid that he's gonna find my video someday, so I'm going to pass on this one too. Go-to comfort food. That would be curry. Who do you ship yourself with, fictional or otherwise? Once again, not going to name him. I don't think he likes me romantically anyways, because I'm pretty sure he only likes good-looking women. How often do you travel for work? And do you ever use a real bookmark or just your first class boarding pass? I actually don't travel for work as often as you would think. I would say around 1 or 2 times a year. So I travel to a conference every year, which is why I was in LA last year. And then I'll just travel for a project if it is needed, which is why I was in Atlanta a couple months ago. I do not use a real bookmark. I actually use my business card, which is the only reason why I have a business card. How can I become as confident as you are? Honestly, I think that just takes a lot of time and experience and a lot of self-care. There's no straightforward answer for that, so Good luck. Will you ever set up a P.O. box? No, because that shit costs money. So I don't think it would be worth it for me. I also don't know if anybody would want to send me shit in the first place. If you do actually want to send me stuff for whatever reason, just DM me and then I'll send you, not my actual address, but I'll send you the address to my office. Okay, so it's getting dark, so I'm just gonna end this video with one last question. Well, technically two, because I see that these two are pretty related. The first one says, I feel like a failure. I'm 30 and just graduated college with a useless degree. I feel like I have nothing going for me. What do I do? And then the second one says, how do I find my purpose in life? I feel so lost. I think that you need to be patient with yourself and know that everything is a work in progress, and don't feel like you have to race against anybody else. It's not a competition. You have your whole life to figure your shit out. Just continue exploring what you enjoy doing and continue being open to new experiences and trying new things. We live in a society that often places our value on how productive we are, or how much money we make, or what degree or what job we have. And even though it's hard to not compare yourself to those things, focus on yourself and focus on what makes you happy. Ultimately, that's what matters in the end. And you're not going to figure it out right away. It's very rare for people to figure shit out at an early age. So again, just be patient with yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people, and good luck. It is getting dark, so I'm going to end it now. Sorry I didn't have time to answer everything. If you have any other questions, you can leave them down in the comments below and I will reply to them, or you can leave comments on my Curious Cat link, which I will put in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.